Hello, I'm John Prendergast. I'm the Executive Chairman of Recce Pharmaceuticals, and I'm delighted to be with you today to present a company overview and to give you a flavor of what we anticipate over the next 12 to 24 months. But before I do that, I want to draw your attention to the fact that there are almost 5 million deaths globally from antibiotic-resistant infections. Roughly 75% of antibiotics in development are derived from existing drugs, and it's inevitable that bacteria will develop resistance to these newly derived antibiotics. So what does that mean? The antibacterial pipeline is in crisis, and as the WHO has pointed out recently, last year, this is due to a scarcity of products and a lack of innovation. So much so that in the past 10 years, only two have represented new chemical classes. Effectively, this represents that the development of innovation in antibiotic space is essentially stagnant. So when it comes to our company, we are looking at being truly innovative, just like other disease areas that have had high-packed innovative products over the last 20 years. For example, in the arena of cancer, PD-1 antibodies have transformed the treatment of certain cancers. And in the area of obesity, which has been such a growing global problem, GLP-1 inhibitors have impacted that dramatically. But when it comes to infectious diseases, there are no truly new innovative products. Recce's polymer platform represents the opportunity to really innovate because it's a fully synthetic polymer platform that's designed to disrupt the essential component of any growing cell, particularly bacteria, and that's the production of energy. The World Health Organization recognized it last year as the only molecule that stands out as a fully synthetic compound that targets ATP production, which is the essential energy production arena within a bacteria or any growing cell. We've gained from knowing that we have a truly innovative product has allowed us to develop a program pipeline depicted in this slide. We have wanted to access the market as quickly as possible with this particular product, and consequently, we've developed a program in diabetic foot ulcer infections that originally was conducted in Australia, but because of the enormous opportunity in diabetic foot ulcer infections in the ASEAN region, particularly in Indonesia, where there is a population of 280 million people, with 10% of the population having diabetes, this has allowed us to develop a registrational strategy where we are conducting a phase 3 trial in Indonesia. And with that registration in the course of the next 12 months, that would allow us to expand us into the ASEAN region. Behind that, we will continue to conduct our topical gel program in Australia that would then allow us to move over to other additional registration clinical trials that would support a registration package for the US. Underpinning this all is a safety program where we administered Recce 327 IV in over 150 human volunteers, where we saw no aberrant safety parameter or physical effect of the drug in any way, shape, or form. In addition to our lead program, we're looking to expand our pipeline through the inhalation of Recce 327, particularly applied to lung infections. And these particular lung infections are hospital-acquired pneumonia and ventilator-assisted pneumonia. We have already conducted studies to demonstrate the efficacy of Recce 327 when it's delivered to the lung. And so this program would also allow us to not only access those types of infections, but potentially be applicable to other diseases such as tuberculosis and potentially cystic fibrosis. This truly represents an exciting program. We have recently been awarded a $2 million grant by the US Department of War that would further our opportunities in the topical gel space particularly as it is applied to the war combat veteran, where in the field, any particular type of wound could be treated with a topical gel, as well as burn wound infections that we are conducting under a cooperative research and development agreement with two other agencies in the US Department of Defense. As we roll out our commercial strategy, as I mentioned, we are conducting the phase 3 trial in Indonesia, and that allows us to access the other Asian countries by virtue of the harmonization guidelines between regulatory jurisdictions. Moreover, that opportunity would also lend itself to expanding our reach into the Middle East, North Africa region. Why so? Because between the two regions, MENA and ASEAN, there are over 120 million diabetic patients, of which there would be a representation of approximately 10 million diabetic foot ulcer infections. So this is a significant market. In conjunction with that, we'll continue our regulatory and manufacturing base in Australia, and those critical studies will then allow us to expand into the world's largest infectious disease therapeutics market, which is obviously the USA. So we're very confident of being able to adopt an impactful global commercial strategy. So when we look at Recce today, I want to present several key takeaways that really underpin the future value of the company as a true innovator in the infectious disease space. And it's important to recognize that this particular polymeric platform is broad spectrum, because part of the significant problems associated with traditional antibiotic development has been the lack of antibiotics to target more than one bacterium at any one time. We target bacteria independent of resistance to other antibiotics. More importantly, we've tested the polymer in over 750 clinical isolates and never failed to kill the bacteria within minutes. That's part of the effective mechanism of action. It's not in hours or days like traditional antibiotics, but it demonstrates amazing lethality in minutes. And in passaging experiments, which are truly the standard bearer for determining whether an antibiotic has the ability to kill multiple times, we've tested in passaging series of up to over 100 times and never seen development of resistance. As I mentioned before, in our clinical studies, one of the key things going forward with these programs is to show that the product is safe, and our safety profile is outstanding. When we consider what we are trying to achieve with the topical gel, we want it to be targeting the site and acting rapidly at that site, unlike oral or IV antibiotics, which can take hours to days to be effective. As we progress our studies of topical gel and success with our phase 3 program, we believe that this will become the standard of care for diabetic foot infections globally, and so would afford us the opportunity to price the product in a premium manner. In fact, all our pipeline opportunities are driven towards premium price therapeutic areas and will be used on a global commercial basis. Currently, we've had several reports that have valued the company significantly above where our current market cap is. Whilst this is really reassuring and represents opportunity, what I truly want to reflect is that the innovation and the other pipeline opportunities that are available within the company over the coming years have not been necessarily reflected in these valuations. So we believe that the company has true upside above and beyond these current projected valuations. And why so? Because Recce is a pioneer in the development of a new era of anti-infectives. It has the world's first synthetic anti-infective platform that we believe will be able to engineer on an ongoing basis to outsmart superbugs and the superbug crisis. It is the first novel class of antibiotics in over 40 years, and we are rapidly de-risking this through our registrational phase 3 trials in Indonesia and potentially in Australia. This will become the first topical anti-infective approved for the treatment of DFIs, and more importantly, from a global perspective, will be the first standard of care. We have multiple value-creating opportunities across a series of other pipeline programs that meet unmet global needs. As I mentioned, particularly in the area of lung infections for hospital-acquired pneumonia and ventilator-assisted pneumonia. All these programs are designed to impact multi-billion-dollar markets that are in dire need of innovative treatments. So what I'd like to leave you with is that Recce is a pioneer, certainly, but we want to become a global leader in the anti-infective space, and we truly represent the first broad-spectrum effective antibiotic/anti-infective in over 40 years. I want to thank you for your attention, and I look forward to updating you over the course of the next 12 months on our programs. Thank you.